Hi there, welcome to another Q&A. My name is Clément, I'm your host, and today I'm going to be answering a very popular question with women, and that question is, how do I know if someone genuinely likes me and isn't only looking for sex? So obviously this is a much more popular question with women because men don't generally worry about those things. It's just the way that we're built. So, and on that same note, men are a lot more aggressive when it comes to sexual relations than women, as we all know. And so, I'm gonna try my best to be real, and I'm gonna try my best to help you as much as possible to try to understand how and by the way, the question itself, how do I know if someone genuinely likes me and isn't only looking for sex? Now, I got that question online, it's a real question. But I think genuinely likes me, you can genuinely like someone and still only want to have sex with them. You really can. In fact, you probably should genuinely like someone if you want to have sex with them. I don't know why you wouldn't want to. But what I think they mean with this question is, how do I know if someone's open to having a long-term relationship and is a good match to have a long-term relationship, or if they're only looking for a short-term relationship, right? That's what they're asking. Long-term relationship, short-term relationship. Wow. Yes, it's quite a complex subject because we're complex beings and we have complex ways of behavior, but I'm gonna try to simplify it. I think you have to be able to make a connection with the man, and that connection is an intellectual connection. It transcends the physical, right? So let's just agree here. Most of the time when there's an attraction at the beginning of some kind of dating phase, right? Or some kind of relationship building phase, when there's an attraction there, a mutual attraction, and it's very visceral and you can sense it and you're both aware of it because you're flirting with each other, you're smiling, you're on your best behavior, you're always thinking about each other, excited for the next moment you get to spend together, then that is a sexual attraction which leads to sex. Now, what we want to do is we want to bypass that, because what happens is we are programmed to want to compete and to mate and to do it as much as possible. So when a man, typically speaking, it's not always true, I'm just saying typically speaking, when a man is able to get that quickly, the desire to continue in a relationship with someone, or at least pursuing that person, dramatically falls, it dramatically drops, it dramatically becomes less interesting. Because again, coming back to the connection, that intellectual connection that transcends the physical aspect of things doesn't exist. It's a mutual connection, right? It's not just a one-sided thing, but you have to find a way. I think as a woman, you can't let the man get what they want. Otherwise, that's a big possibility, right? So, there's a balance too, I understand, right? So you're very attracted to them and you also probably want to have that physical connection, right? So the fear of losing them as a prospect might hinder your ability to decline their invitations to come to their place, right? On the first or the second or the third date. But that immediate period, that first, second, and third date are key milestones for you to be able to decline that offer and not do that. Because that's exactly what I was saying. If the man gets what they want too quickly, it can very, very easily lead to loss of interest, no matter how good the potential relationship could be, because you haven't formed any kind of connection yet. You can't form a connection within 3 dates that really gives each other a good idea of who they are, what their interests are, how their behavior is. So I would say this is a game that you're playing, a game of strategy. And you have to be very smart about it and very self-aware. You have to be able to understand what your own objectives are. What do I really want from this? Do I really want a long-term relationship? Is that what I really want? Because if that's true, I am not going to jeopardize it by giving in to my short-term needs and desires. And I'm not going to stand for someone. I'm not going to be worried to lose someone who was never in for a long-term relationship in the first place. Okay, so we're establishing that the first 3 dates at least are off limits when it comes to being alone in the same room, right? Because you don't want to tempt each other into being sexual. So that's the first thing, the first major point that I would make. And the second major point that I would make is, treat this as a process. Treat this as a kind of, a puzzle, where you're looking for different strategies and different approaches to open them up to you, because men don't open up as easily as women. Men aren't as social as women. But men are great charmers. Men can be great manipulators. Men can find, definitely a lot of ways to compliment a woman, definitely a lot of ways to love bomb a woman. And it's not all malicious, right? It's just sometimes it's a reactionary behavior. Sometimes it's just let's make her feel good kind of behavior. But it's not always malicious. However, when you do connect with a man, when you do find something that you're able to really riff off of in terms of maybe their interests, their hobbies, topics of discussion, maybe you can find things to really enjoy together in terms of having a laugh. Just really looking for bringing that side of them out, the side that kind of, the beaming eyes, you can tell it's more than just a physical connection. It's like they're looking forward to actually doing those things with you, having those fun times with you, talking about those subjects with you. When you can sense that that is the topic of discussion, that's the prevailing topic of discussion when you're interacting with them, and it's not the compliments, it's not the remarks, it's not the flirty statements, right? It's not the winks, it's not the charm. When that's not the major kind of flavor of the conversations that you have, and when it's about something a lot more specific and a lot more substantial, then I think you're on track, and I think that's a good beginning. So again, it's a very long and complex kind of conversation, and it's not always the same for everyone. There's not one size fits for this, but it's a game of just understanding what it is that you want, right? Clarifying where your objective is and which direction you're heading in, and then when you know that, doing everything that aligns with that. And just instead of doing the stuff that would sabotage or derail that journey, because you really can easily do that. For example, turning up at their house or their apartment on the first, second, or third date. That really is the name of the game. Try to be mysterious, but also playful. Try to be you, but also try to stop yourself from sabotaging what could flourish into something that's a lot more meaningful to you. And I would say it doesn't always, again, it's not always the case. Like, you can meet someone and have sex with them and have a long-term relationship with them after that, which is fun and exciting and fulfilling. But there is a pattern, and we are aware of the pattern. And the pattern is that when men get what they want physically from a woman too soon, it can make them lose their interest. So I hope that's helped. That's just real talk, I mean, there's other things that I could say. There's micro strategies that I could tell you. But those don't matter if you can't get the fundamentals down. And the fundamentals are, you have to know yourself, and you have to know what you want, so you're self-aware, and then you have to avoid sabotaging that journey to opening that man up, establishing some kind of rapport and a connection, and not giving them the physical kind of gifts that they're actually wanting from you too soon. I hope that helps, and I'm looking forward to you coming back for the next one. Take care.